welcome back to my channel. My name's Amy. Thank you so much for joining me today as I share my April wrap-up of all the books that I read and listened to. Comment below and let me know what was your favorite book that you read this month. So I'm going to start out by talking about the books that I think that you should run away from. Do not read these books. Don't waste your time. And then I will share with you the ones I think you need to read now. I'm going to start out with what I feel like is the worst book that I listened to. This was an audiobook, and it's called Every City is Every Other City, and the author is John McFettridge. There were so many things wrong with this. First of all, being the audio version of the book I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy the narrator of the book. He was very monotone. The main character, as he was like portraying this character, he seemed like kind of like a depressed kind of guy, and I'm not sure if that's like what they were going for or not. He didn't really put forth much effort in female voices, so and so that was just the audio part of the book, and I really didn't even like the plot line that much either. There were sort of two separate plot lines going on. The first one being that this man is missing, and so the main character is a guy that is he's like a scout for locations in the movie industry, and someone that he works with has a family member that goes up missing, and so she asks for him to go and look for him. So you have that plot going on, and then you also have this other plot going on, and the two of the things don't have anything to do with each other, and it was just really, it was bad. I did not enjoy this book at all. I would not recommend you read that either. Okay, the next book that I read / listened to was that was probably that Every City is Every Other City is the worst book that I listened to. Now, kind of like the medium category. They were cute, but I wouldn't like go out of my way to find them if I were you. The first one is Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson. And I thought that this was a really cute book. It was kind of, detailing the life and saga of this rich family and all of the things that go on in their life via losing jobs, losing loved ones, and just trying to find their place in the world. And, their familiar relationships are kind of strained. It was a cute book. I don't feel very strongly about it either way. The other one that I'm really actually super surprised that I didn't like as much as I thought I was going to was, and because I waited for so long for the audio version of this book, I placed it on, it was like January 16th, I placed my hold, and I just got it sometime early April. Okay, so I waited for like almost 4 months to get this book, and it was I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. I feel like this book had so much potential to really delve into the actual trauma that Jennette felt as a result of her mom creating within her these psychological issues, eating disorders, and all this kind of stuff. I feel like I felt left wanting of this promise that I'm glad my mom died. In the book, it doesn't really ever talk about how she comes to this conclusion that her mom really screwed up her life, and here is how I'm going to move on from that. You, as the reader, get to experience that as she's telling the story, but at the end, I left really kind of not fully excited and fully satisfied with the ending of the story. I feel like there could be a lot more to it. I gave that one a 3-star rating. for sure. Okay, another one that got a 3-star rating from me was Finley Donovan is Killing It. This is again, it was a story that I really, thought was cute, and there was nothing wrong with it. But there are other books in the series, and I just didn't really feel compelled to um, reach out for those. Either put them on hold from Libby or go find the hard copy book. Finley Donovan is an author, and she's like a murder mystery author, and she's overheard describing one of her books, except this lady doesn't realize that's what she's doing. She thinks she's like a hit person. So she hires her to kill her husband, and there's all kinds of mayhem that ensues after. And this book is billed as, like a comedy kind of thing. And it was kind of funny, but I didn't feel like it was like overtly funny. So it was fine. Pretty cool that I listened to it, but all in all, I wasn't interested enough in the series to go continue to look for them. I did read a very short story from Taylor Jenkins Reid, which was Evidence of the Affair. I thought that was a really cool short story. It's letters back and forth between two spouses whose spouses are having an affair. And it details how these other two spouses end up sort of connecting and having a relationship as well. I feel like that would have been a really cool book, like a full-on book, or they could turn that into a mini series or a movie, and that would have been pretty cool. I gave that 4 stars just because there was so much potential within that to extend it and make it longer than what it was. I was definitely left with like wanting more of that, for sure. Okay, so I gave that 4 stars on Goodreads, and here is my next one that got 4 stars, and it's The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, something like that. This was really cool. There were lots of twists and turns in this book, and I really don't want to say too much about it because there's a lot of twists and turns in the book. Just when you kind of think you have it figured out, then you really don't have it figured out. But ultimately, it is about a woman and her journey of kind of recovering from her spouse cheating on her. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. But I liked it. It kept me on my toes, and it kept me guessing, and all the way up to the end, I will say. So that was a 4-star book. I keep looking on my daughter's phone at my notes to myself. Okay, my other 4-star book was Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Lori Gottlieb. And Lori Gottlieb is a real therapist, and so this book is all about her and some of her patients and her going to therapy, and just really about the need for us to normalize talking about our mental health, to talk about therapy, and to accept the fact that we all could probably use some help in one way or another, and none of us are normal. None of us have it all figured out. And if you go to therapy and you see a therapist, there's no shame in that. So I really liked the social commentary aspect of that book, and I gave that 4 stars also. So I've covered those. Now, okay, for my top 2 books. One of them I'm not finished with yet. I have 2.5 hours to finish listening to it, but I can already tell you that it's my second favorite book that I read this month. I am a very dedicated listener / reader of the Stephanie Plum series from Janet Evanovich. So right now I'm listening to Rise and Shine 29. This series of Stephanie Plum is a bail bonds enforcement person, and she goes and finds skips, and she brings them in, and she's in this love triangle, sometimes a love square, with some really hunky dudes that kind of help her and protect her along her way. There is always funny aspects to the Stephanie Plum books, but not many of them have had me laughing out loud like this one. Like, I'm talking in my car, I'm busting out laughing, walking my dog in front of people that are probably think I'm crazy, busting out laughing. This 29 is hilarious. Grandma Miser is on point in this book. So if you know anything about these Stephanie Plum books and you have not gotten to 29, you must find it very soon. Even Joe Morelli's grandma is making a pretty significant appearance in this. And if you know a little bit about his grandma, she's Italian and she likes to give people the evil eye, and then she curses them and they die or they get sick or whatever. And Grandma Bella is on point too. So you got Grandma Mazer, Grandma Bella, and Lula that are off the charts hilarious in this book. And it's so funny. Highly recommend you go find that now. So here in a little bit, you might hear in the background my daughter starting to yell at my name. And at the end of the video that I was recording, I figured out why. She's telling me, she keeps up with my videos, and she's like, Mom, you've already talked about that book. And so I think what happened was I talked about this book, The Measure, at the end of March, and I must have changed something about it in Goodreads. And so when I looked at Goodreads and it said last updated April 2nd, and in my mind I'm thinking, okay, I finished it at the beginning of April, but I think I finished it at the end of March and just changed something about my review at the beginning of April. So I've already talked about this book, but it's amazing. And so if you didn't see my other review, maybe you need to watch this one. And definitely check this book out if it sounds amazing to you. And then the last one, which is like way opposite, you have super silly, super crazy, and then you have this one that will be in my top of the whole entire year. And it is The Measure by Nikki Erlick. This book is all about how people on this random day, everyone wakes up and everyone that's 22 and older has a box on their front doorstep. And in this box is a string, and everyone's string is a different length. And after a while, they start to research and understand and learn that this string is indicative of how long your life is expected to be. And so there is this aspect to me of life, and sometimes people say, I wish I knew when I was going to die because I would do ... This book really brings to mind, if you did know that you were going to die at a certain couple years, how would you really think about that? There's so much other social commentary that goes along with this book, and I don't want to touch too much on it, but you know, like discrimination of people who have short strings. The short string people are the short life people, and then the long string people are the ones who are going to have a nice long life. Discrimination against short stringers, and short stringers, do they deserve love? Do they deserve jobs? How are we all going to kind of like go together and be together? And this book is just really touching in so many ways. And the ending, I was listening to this book on audio, and I had to go back and rewind it because I couldn't believe my ears. I was shocked. And this book was just really good. So if you need to be touched in a very deep way, you need to go read The Measure by Nikki Erlick for sure. And cool thing is, this book is Nikki Erlick's first book, and it's a doozy. Buckle in, friends. Okay, those are all of the books that I have read or listened to in the month of April. That was a total of 10. That will be 10 books that I read and listened to. And I'm pretty proud of that. I had a very good book month. Comment below and let me know how many books have you read this year. I will see you in my next video. Bye.